Good good afternoon, RRC New England Region members and guests. It's another Monday with the Masters, and it's September 8th. The months are just rolling right along, and we're almost going to be in the new year pretty soon. I wanted to introduce Greg Hanner. He's here. He's going to be the president in 2026, and we're all excited for that. And here is our 2025 leadership team. Greg is on the line. Marie Presti as well is here with us today. And Courtney Hoy, our communications chair. So thank you guys for being here as part of the leadership team. We do have a terrific group this year, and we're going to have a fantastic group coming into 2026 as well. We're very excited for the transition. So we're looking forward to that. I think Darlene just joined. She is also in on our communications team. We always like to celebrate our 2025 strategic partners, starting off with our platinum sponsor, Annie Mack, with Todd Cook and his group of fantastic loan officers. Our gold sponsors are Coast to Coast with Nicole Choit Yarosa, Gaffney Law with Chris Gaffney, Cross Country Mortgage with Donna Brady Connor, Leader Bank with Dave Conti, Clark Hill with John Gallagher from Clark Hill Home Inspections, Kim Stone with Rocket Mortgage, Joe O'Sullivan with Statera Law. G-Bar and MLS PIN are two of our contributors and collaborators. And we've got Paul Romano with Skyburst. So thank you so much to all of our strategic partners. We do really appreciate you and love the support and the collaboration. Just to go over some of our events that are going to be coming up soon. On September 17th, we have a fabulous class with Addie Owens on becoming a power lister. It's a 4-hour class, and if you are licensed in Maine, you'll get 2 Maine credits for that, continuing education credits. And we're going to be having a luncheon after that from 1 to 2. You don't have to go to one to go to the other, or you can go to both. So make sure if you are registering, you register for them separately. And we're looking forward to that. It's going to be at the Portland Realtor Association. We're starting a new thing with coffee and conversations that Joanna and Jamie Thompson had set up for to get people together. It's kind of an informal conversational, like what's CRS and RRC all about, and just to get conversations going. So that's going to be September 18th from 10 to 12. It's Just in Time Cafe in Peabody, Massachusetts. And hopefully we're going to be doing those different locations around the region going forward. So we're excited about that. On September 25th, we're going to be having a New Hampshire networking event at Par 28 in Salem, New Hampshire. We're going to be doing axe throwing, golf simulators, and of course, getting together, networking, have a little bit of food and some beverages, and that should be a great time as well. In October, we're going to be having a virtual course in conjunction with Vermont, again with Addie Owens. It's going to be the divorce specialist certification. It's an 8-hour class, and we'll learn about how to work with folks that are maybe not being together going forward. And it can be sensitive. So you've got to be neutral and know some of the family law basics to real estate transactions. Of course, we're not attorneys, but we do need to know how that works a little bit, and using our conflict resolution skills and strategies to get people through their transactions. Next week will be CRS week from September 15th to 19th, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that today. Most of these we had already gone over. There is going to be a broker summit networking event in Norwood, Massachusetts on October 15th. So we're looking forward to that. And there is the installation for Greg is going to be in Waterford, Connecticut, and that's going to be on December 4th. So look for that for coming up, and make sure you save the date. So this week we're going to talk about CRS and celebrating CRS, why we love CRS, the different RRC certifications that you can get, the celebration event, usually in February or March. And we're excited this year. It's going to be in Texas. I don't see Christina on, but she is going to be having a watch party on that Monday, September 15th in her office. There's going to be during the week 5 different topics that National is going to be putting on through webinars. On Monday, Kim Knapp is going to be talking about did you come to win, or are you just passing through the real estate transactions? So it's, my cat just jumped up on me. So
And just everybody should know that it says 2 p.m. Central Time, but our time here in New
right.
England is 3 p.m. So keep note of that.
Yes.
Yeah, and also it's a registration. So I put into the chat, but on CRS.com, you can just register to be able to get into each one of these. It's free every single day at 3 p.m.
So yes, and she's going to be talking about goals and habits and values and how to build momentum in your business. And then on Tuesday, Pat Zaby is going to be talking to us about how to get noticed and get hired, building trust, being top of mind, and how your online engagement applies to the real world. And on Wednesday, we're going to be hearing from Nate Johnson, and he's going to talk about different tools for real estate success. On Thursday, we're fortunate enough to have Jack Cotton joining us, and he's going to talk about principles in the luxury real estate market and what you need to do for success there, how to have relationships. And then on Friday, we're going to have Gonzalo Mejia talk about capturing global customers and bringing them to the closing table. So working internationally, and how you go about doing that and some tools for that.
And can I just add, Michelle, too?
Yes.
That all of those people who are presenting next week are all certified CRS instructors. So if you're thinking, hey, I want to take some more CRS classes, by coming for an hour each day, you get a good feel for each of those presenters and their styles, and it may make you want to select them to take one of the classes that you're looking for going forward. So I noticed every time I take it, if it's somebody new, I learn, and we have the best of the best CRS instructors, as we all know. So it's a great way to get to learn some of the different instructors on our faculty.
Michelle, are
And
any
as
of those recorded?
Vicki, were you saying are they recorded? I believe the sessions are recorded.
Okay, great, thank you.
But you do have to go to the CRS website and register for CRS week so that you can have access. And I believe they called it they call it a CRS bundle. So this is the 5 classes in that bundle. Yeah. And Christina, as I mentioned earlier, is going to be doing a watch party on September 15th at 3 o'clock, because as Marie said, it's 3 o'clock Eastern time. And she's getting people together to celebrate CRS and to watch the kickoff. So that's going to be exciting. So if you have a chance to go up to Dracut and spend some time with them, that would be great. Or you could be with groups in your offices or at home, if that's the avenue that you take to be able to listen in to the CRS week events. So in conjunction with CRS week, we're also going to be having a blood drive, and Greg's going to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm excited about this. This is something that we think about, what can we always do to give back to our communities, and I feel that this is something that the New England region can collaborate. And our goal is to to pledge and give 100 pints of blood throughout the 6 states in New England. And the Red Cross has a program called Sleeves Up. And obviously, to give blood, your sleeve is coming up. But it's a great program where you don't have to travel. You can go to a local blood drive that's close to you, and the website, we've got the link in the events, the New England events. So any of our links, typically you're going to be going to, you'll always see the current links. We have this link that will be live until October 31st. The steps are you pledge to give. And once you've pledged, then you go and pick which drive locally do you want to go. And generally, they have the blood drives out a couple weeks. And I'd like to see if we can pull this off. And it's giving something precious, our blood, to our people that are in need. It's going to make a big difference. It's even more important than dollars, because you are actually saving someone's life and helping them. So if we can just get the best of the best to step up and give locally, I think we can pull this off, and it'd be a great thing for us to do for our neighbors.
Thank you for setting that up, Greg.
Yeah.
Lori?
Greg, I have a question for you on that. So, first of all, I just pledged using the link, so I pledged, but you won 100 pints. If I pledge, how many pints are they going to take from me? Is it one pint per person?
Yeah, they're going to take 1 pint at one sitting.
Okay, so we need 100 of us to meet our goal.
100 of us. And here's the other thing. The pledge isn't just limited to a CRS designee or an RRC member. My wife is going to be giving under this drive. So she's not a realtor. So you can have significant others join us in our efforts, because it's just it's a big push here in Connecticut. I don't know what it's like in other states to give platelets, which are typically for cancer, people struggling with cancer. There's only one spot to give platelets, and it's a little bit more difficult to do because we have to go to Farmington, Connecticut, at the basically the UConn Medical Center location. And it's a 2.5-hour process where they, take your blood out and back, put it back in, but take out the platelets. I try to do that once a year. So this is just a regular blood drive.
All right, thanks, Greg.
Yep.
I did want to recognize that Vicky's here. She's our main director, one of them, along with Brenda, and Caitlin as well is here, and she is on our membership team. So thank you guys for being here. Now Marie is going to talk about our the different certifications and certificates that RRC offers.
Okay, thank you. So I wanted to just spend a few minutes and kind of explain. Everybody knows of the CRS designation, right? That's what our big designation is here with the Residential Real Estate Council. But what I think a lot of members don't realize is that you can get many different certifications as well, as part of your training here with the Residential Real Estate Council. And we started these several years ago, which is the main reason we renamed ourselves. Instead of CRS, Certified Residential Specialist Council, we renamed ourselves RRC. And that's because we wanted to be broader and provide a lot of other types of education. So over the last, I think it's been about 5 or 6 years, we've created, National has, not me, but National has created all of these certifications. So I thought I would just talk about each of them really quickly. I don't know how much time I have, Michelle, but
You have time.
I have a few minutes. Okay.
Yep.
So the Artificial Intelligence certification is an awesome certification. I just took this in Connecticut along with Greg and a few others of us. And it's one where it talks a lot about number one, what is artificial intelligence? How did it come about? A little bit of the history. Also, it talks a little bit about what we can do is artificial intelligence and some of um, the the effects of it. Is it impacting our local community? So it talked about where some parts in the different parts of the country, it's really rejuvenating some parts of the country. I know here in New England, there's been some talk about some changes here, but so far nothing has happened as far as I know in terms of new data center processing and that sort of thing. But the best part of the whole class is really talking about how can we use it as realtors and how can we make it help us and make us more efficient. So I thought it was an excellent class. It's not just, many of these certifications are not just the class itself. You have to do a few extra pieces beyond that to get the certification. And in that particular case, we had to watch the video when they had a AI summit back in June. So I'd be watching that as well and then getting your certification. The next one is the cryptocurrency, blockchain, and NFT certification. And that really goes into talking about currency and, the wave of, um, you know, not physical currency, but other types of currency. I have not taken this one yet, but it's on my list to take. Have any of you guys on the call taken this particular one? Not yet? Okay. So I do know it's another day class and it's supposed to be really interesting. And I know some people who have invested in cryptocurrency have taken this and learned about it and have decided whether they want to make any kind of investments in it in the stock market. But it's also ways that we might be able to use it in the real estate world going forward. So that's that one. The next one is the digital marketing social media certification. And I did take this a couple of years ago with Marky Lemons. I don't know if any of you know her, but there are different people teaching it now, but it was an excellent class and really focused hard on what you can do as a realtor to make yourself be well known, but without having to physically go places, using social media, again, to make yourself well known, to get leads, to get referrals in different ways. And she went across multiple social media platforms from Facebook to LinkedIn to Instagram. And she is a great instructor, social media instructor. So she teaches at NAR as well as she has come to, I know, the state to teach before. So that was a great one. The next one is the inside sales agent certification. And this one talks about one where if you have an assistant helping you, a licensed assistant, how they can go about helping do better. What kind of ways can you have an inside sales agent help you? So, for example, making calls after an open house and following up with the clients, what to say, how to say it, that type of thing. So it's someone who is not necessarily like most of us are outside sales. We're out there, we're getting our listings, we're talking with buyers directly. This would be someone who's on the back end inside and they're helping you to do that. So it could be an assistant that you pay to do it, or you could have somebody on your team whose job it is to do inside sales. And some of that, what they teach you also is the whole transaction management side as well. So how can someone be following up after you have an accepted offer and following it through all the way through the process? The next certification is the luxury home certification. And the main instructor, CRS instructor who teaches that is Jack Cotton, who is in our New England region as a whole. And I did take this one, and I think Greg took it. We held that a couple of years ago. We've had that a couple of times, and Jack's been so great to offer it in New England more often than not because this is his home area. And this teaches you, if you're trying to target that luxury home, what to do, what not to do, and maybe some of the tools that he's done over the course of his. Now, all of these instructors are the CRS faculty, they're all agents and producers. So they don't take anyone on who's just a full-time instructor. They take people who do this for a living. So what's really great about this, for example, with Jack Cotton, I mean, he shares the secrets about how he's gotten listings for a $10 million home or he's down the Cape. So it really goes to show you, how we have practitioners helping and sharing our ideas with other practitioners, which is great. The next one is the real estate investing certification. I mean, every time I go through this list, I'm like, God, I did that one, I did that one, I did that one. And it makes me realize that a lot of my learning has come from through these certifications over the last 5 or 6 years. The real estate investing certification talks a lot about if you personally want to invest in real estate or you're trying to help one of your clients invest in real estate. So he talks, and there's 2 instructors on this. Chris Bird is one of them. And I can't remember the other instructor's name. Any of you remember off the top of your head? I just saw him at Celebration, but 2 really great instructors. I've seen them teach, and I've taken the real estate investing certification a couple of times actually, because I've been a CRS since 2006. So over the years, sometimes you forget the information and then you want to take it again. So I've been growing up with our instructors, and sometimes I've that particular one, I've taken that certification twice because I wanted to relearn what are the current tax implications of real estate investing. So they will talk about what are the benefits of real estate investing and how do you go about doing it? How do you look at the property? How can you help your client? What are the tax implications? And I mean, when it comes to investing, tax is really important. They talk a little bit about the 1031 exchange and how you might want to consider that if you're working with a real estate investor. So, and Chris Bird in particular owns his own real estate. He is a realtor. He was a realtor at first, but he used to work for the IRS before he was a realtor. So he's really someone who has he's walked the walk and talked the talk, and he has invested in many different real estate properties now, so he knows the tax code inside and out. So he's always talking about what changes there are and how that could help a real estate investor. The next one is a residential listing certification. That's been one for quite a long time, and that talks specifically about if you're going to list a property, what are the special things that you should be doing, and a whole checklist of things that make sense and different optional things you could do, from how to go about finding buyers online to mailings to and there's like 100 different ideas for how to go about selling your property and helping your seller. The next one is a residential real estate divorce specialist certification. And that one I have not taken, but I am signed up to taking it in October virtually, because that is coming to New England, but we're doing it virtual. We've decided to do it virtual. But just like Michelle said, this is going to help someone who wants to focus on those clients who are either going through a divorce, have already gone through a divorce, and the ways in which you can help your clients better. And one of the key things with that, and Michelle even said it, is you've got 2 clients now, right? If you have somebody who owns a marital home, but there's 2 spouses and they're not necessarily living together anymore, how can you do the best job to help them both at the same time? And how to work with the attorneys as well, because that's a really key part of selling divorcing homes. So that certification, I'm looking forward to learning some things in that. The next one we took a couple of years ago, and that came to New England as well. It's the Residential Real Estate Probate Specialist Certification. And that focuses on properties where the property owner has passed away. In many cases, it has to go through probate and through the probate court in order to get approval to sell. So the new owners could be the children, could be a trust, could be something else. So if you're looking to target that, it teaches you what is probate, how do you, how does a property get into it, what's the process that you usually have happen, and then what should you do as a specialist and an agent trying to help your client get through that process, and how do you sell the home properly. And then the last one is a smart home certification, and that one talks specifically about homes and how they can be smart, whether it be through security, whether it be through echoes and Alexa and Google, and how to make your home smarter, lights, TVs, electricity, all of that. And it's about all that technology that comes into play and how can you price them if you have a home, smart home that you're trying to sell. So that's pretty cool. The last three are all certificates. They're not necessarily a certification, but you can get a certificate for the advanced residential home buyers. That's if you're going to be helping buyers specifically, how can you go about doing it better and what should you be thinking about when you're helping a buyer, which is very different than when you're helping a seller. The mobile technologies virtual agent certificate, which is if you're out on the road, how can you be a better agent and what are the different mobile technologies that you can use when you're on the road. And the negotiation certificate is if you're dealing with negotiating, how can you be a better negotiator as helping a seller or a buyer or an investor or a landlord, and ways that you can role play and make yourself better and have it be basically a win-win where it's not necessarily adversarial. It's just trying to work on solving problems and getting to the heart and getting a deal put together in the end of it all. So.
And that's a couple minutes from Marie Presti. you can tell that, she is super excited and super passionate about CRS and RRC, which is awesome. And to be able to, speak about the different certifications and what education is offered is a great thing to be able to do. And they're great courses and great certificates and great
I'm going to
certifications.
jump in and I'm going to say
Yeah.
a couple things like the certifications. Marie, correct me if I'm wrong. Aren't they most of them 8 hours?
8 hours, yes. Plus, in many cases, you have to do extra stuff. So it's a little bit
Correct.
beyond 8 hours. So I don't want to say just 8 hours, but yeah, they're all at least one day. Plus, you have to do a few extra things online typically.
Right,
After
like
you
the
take the first.
AI one, we had to do the
Yeah.
5-hour summit on top of it.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is it wasn't necessarily these certifications. I remember it was in the middle of the probably 2012, 2015-ish. I got sucked into a 1-hour RRC class. It was as a non-member, started just getting some of this content. And once you start getting the quality of the education and the information that you can put to practice immediately, the talking points that you can use immediately, all of a sudden now these things, especially now you get into the 8-hour classes, it's addicting. I'll just say
Yeah.
it's addicting.
There's so many other classes that RRC offers. And I know that, Greg is a big proponent of the webinar bundle.
Yeah, the video
Um,
bundle, man. You can time shift. You got over 50. I say I
Yeah.
probably toss out 10, 15. I got 35 plus the regular ones. I think there's 10 as a regular RRC member.
Yeah.
So it's great content and
Yeah.
stuff that thankfully the council is there to provide us with this information, because at the local level, the association sure as heck can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
There's
you can
definitely a
watch
lot
them
of,
in your car if you're waiting,
yeah.
for an appointment, you can be efficient by watching them on your phone too. So it's great.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of value there. So if you have time and a chance, make sure you check out the CRS RRC website to see what's available. Now Celebration is going to be coming up in March. And Courtney, do you want to say a couple things about Celebration, when it is, and what I think you've gone? And so let us know why you loved it and what you think about CRS overall.
I have gone. I went this past year. It's very different from other conferences, where it's much more welcoming. There's a lot more activities and classes that have a bunch of great instructors. You learn a lot. And then they give you a gourmet meal while you're there. So there's a lot to it. I would definitely recommend anyone going to it to definitely go this year. It's going to be in Dallas this year. I believe it's March from what
Yep.
yeah. So it's in March. It's always a great time networking and seeing people at the classes, all these people that are top 1 to 3% of agents that are obviously big producers. So it's always good to be surrounded by those types of people. So.
And there is a early bird registration, so you can put that, make sure that if you are signing up now, that you put the code in so that you get the discount.
Yep.
All right, and then just overall, I know that we're a couple minutes over, but would anyone want to share about why you love RRC and CRS?
I'll just toss out, it's the quality of the education and the people, and it all of a sudden becomes a family that you spread out across the country. The referrals, I start when I'm making a referral outbound, or let's say I've got a person coming to Connecticut and they've got to sell a house in Florida. What do? We start with, okay, who's the RRC person that's in that market? And then you do your, drill down into it. But I like the quality and the compassion that the people have. It's a sharing group for sure.
Mary?
Yeah, I'll just say, I mean, I've been a CRS designee since 2006. It took a while for me to get it, and I know that for our other members, once you get that designation, to get there takes a while. It's not just taking a 2-hour class and then you've got this designation. It's a lot of effort. So everyone else has had that effort. And usually when you've gone through that effort, it means number one, you're a full-time dedicated in this industry, and you are here for the long haul. And number two is that you're in it because you love learning. So you're amongst other lifelong learners, which is so important because everybody wants to learn from each other. And usually if you're a lifelong learner, you're willing to teach others and you're willing to learn from others too. So the ego goes away. And that's what I love about our other members is there's no ego. At the 3 pillars of CRS, and RRC as a whole is education, which Greg already mentioned, networking, which networking with the best of the best. And then the third is the referrals, because the referrals come once you get to know, like, and trust each other. And you know that they're in it as long, they're committed as much as you are. I know every time I've given a referral, that agent has been able to come through and close the deal. And if you're given referrals, you want them to close the deal and get there, because if they don't, you're not getting your referral fee. So that's super important. I also know that I've received many referrals over the years from other CRS members. Once you get your CRS designation, you get to go in the database and you get to share that. So, it's one of those things where when somebody calls me and they say, I'm a CRS and I want to refer something to you, I know it's a serious client getting referred to me, and I know that they've done their job to prep that client coming to me as to what to expect.
All right, any other comments before we close up?
The only comment I'd say is that 50% off is for anyone new that you want to bring into the RRC family to get started. It's an incentive for them. If you were a past or lapsed member, that would not apply.
Okay. So as we wrap up again, just if you can jump on any of the sessions for CRS week, do so. Go out and get some education, get some certifications, listen to some webinars, and make sure you come to our networking events when you can. And thank you guys for being here so much, and have a great September.
And roll your sleeves up. We've got to hit 100 pints. We can do it.
Yeah.
Thanks,
All right.
Michelle.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye-bye.